Hey everyone, Isa here. I feel like this vest is supporting me in having more joy while I record this video. So today I want to talk about algorithms of belonging and social media and how scripts of normalcy in social media promotes belonging and how I want to encourage in myself and for anyone who wants to be a part of it, a deeper sense of presence as the formation of belonging. So I don't really like social media and I haven't for many years. I deactivated my Facebook when I graduated from university. I graduated from university in May of 2013, and I started traveling the October of that same year for the first time. And that's the time when I saved up just enough to leave. And I had Instagram, but then I had deactivated my Facebook already, and then soon after that, I deactivated my Instagram. And I basically didn't have social media for 5 or 6 years, and I was traveling for maybe half of that, if not more than that, and that's a long time to be traveling around Asia and Europe and doing really amazing, beautiful things, and now have social media. And what I really enjoyed about it is that I shared my experience with people around me, and I didn't have to record it or format it in any form outside of this present interaction and exchange. When I started doing the intuitive energy healing work that I still do today, in 2018, I opened back up my Facebook, and then I think a year or two later after that, I got Instagram. Around October or November, no, around December of 2020, I deactivated my Instagram, and I have now decided to not use my Facebook very actively. I still have Facebook, but I'm choosing not to use it because I don't really enjoy it, and it doesn't make sense that if joy is the outcome, it's the fruits of my labor, then joy should be a part of all the ingredients I put into the journey. Does that make sense? Like, if there's a journey and a destination, which we know that's maybe not completely accurate, the journey is a destination, and the destination is to have abundance and joy and happiness and all these beautiful things, then every aspect of the journey to me has to be threaded with the destination so that you're already feeling that which we're looking to be and become. And so for me, at the end of last year, I really want to hone in even more to only do things that bring me joy as it relates to everything in my life, including my business. And if anything feels like I'm doing it because I have to, and not, it doesn't promote the sense of this liberation and freeing and relaxation, then I'm going to do my best not to do it. And not saying that there aren't ever times where we have to like push through to kind of do things. Like right now, in general with YouTube videos, I'm always like I'd rather not speak, but I still have to kind of push through, and then I start getting into it. Like right now I'm into it, and those are the videos that usually get posted, and I go through that. But I generally and genuinely sort of enjoy that little process I do, and I do really like YouTube. Like I actually really like consuming content on YouTube, and therefore I like creating content on YouTube. I do not like consuming Instagram and Facebook. It does not feel good to me, and therefore I do not like creating for these spaces. So that's sort of how I feel about it. And excuse me, I also have a podcast. I actually don't listen to podcasts, but I really enjoy like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I mean, it's not social media. It's more just like interacting and listening. And so those are also really beautiful platforms. I'm getting onto other platforms that just feel good. And so I sort of want to talk about this scripts of normalcy, because I can feel my own doubt and this nervousness that like if I don't say, hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or if I don't say subscribe and comment and like, and if I don't have the things, and if I'm noting like the culture of if I don't, instead of what I do, which is just like beauty and presence and just like being. Like as I look around this beautiful bungalow, there's like trees everywhere, and my life is beautiful, and I like simplicity and presence and just sort of sharing in this way. But that's not mainstream media or very catchy. And I can feel my own sense of doubts, like if I don't prescribe to scripts of normalcy, would I not succeed? And so what I'm doing for myself right now is reformatting my own algorithm of belonging to be that from deep senses of presence, and to really feel in the subtle pressures of presence. I feel if you are accustomed to living your life from your inner knowing, your intuition, the experience of of just not knowing and like waiting and listening and responding to this little invitations that life offers. And it is this beautiful process of leaning and wondering. And it is also a part of the beautiful process is nerves and anxiety and like crazy chaotic thoughts sometimes. And it's really just breathing that in, acknowledging and knowing that there's a greater wisdom that can move you, that the mind does not need to know from the pieces that it knows already, because the not knowing offers the weaving of these pieces in a way that's more miraculous and surprising than we can imagine. And I've been leaning into this process for 8 years and really developing and understanding in some ways the nuances of this formula of leading into the not knowing, because I already know that it's forming exactly what I want, and it's just having to be on the journey and deal with my own mind and emotional responses along the way. So I say all of this because this is what I'm doing actually right now with social media, in that I don't want to belong to the algorithms that already exist. I want to be a part of forming algorithms that are based on deep senses of presence and attunement and resonance and vibration and just honesty and just being. Authenticity is a word that's used a lot, and it is that, but it really is just this realness of just being like being who we are. And in that, and really trusting presence. So another thing that is around algorithms of normalcy, or the current algorithms of belonging, is repetition and form. So it's always saying the same thing. It's always having a formula. It's always saying at the end of the video, subscribe, like. It's always saying the same thing at the beginning, like intros and outros. But if I'm truly present, I might not want to say the same thing every time I start the video or end the video. If I'm truly present, I might say at the end, hey guys, or not guys, or gender neutral pronouns, or guys, gender neutral to you, or like, hey everyone, if this resonates with you, please comment, like, subscribe. I might say that, but most likely I won't. Like, it won't come to me in the present moment, and I want that to be okay. So I'm literally just asserting this for myself and for the algorithm of YouTube and for anyone else who's listening, for us to really feel the confidence to curate our own algorithms of presence, and knowing that we can belong to successful, thriving, creative businesses and lives through that formula. Because it is still a formula, it's just a different one. It's just not, it's that or stagnant, and it doesn't have like reports to it yet. You know, it really is this elemental journey of being who we are in every moment and responding to the soul invitations of life. And so this is really what I'm fostering even more deeply for myself right now, in the ways I'm sharing about my business and my work online. And so I do, like I said, I really enjoy using YouTube, and so I'll make YouTube videos, but I might not say the script, or I might say the script. Like, I'm not saying one or the other. And this is for me also connected to this video I did called Exiting the War Paradigm. And so much of exiting these like dualistic paradigms isn't only being in the non-dual or only being in peace or anything. It's actually this subtle movement of present, acknowledging that sometimes there is volatility or triggers or ideas of normalcy. Sometimes this comes in, and then they can leave. And then sometimes a different response, that's radical and new, comes in, and then it can leave. And I actually feel being truly free is not opposing anything all the time, or not being for anything all the time. It's actually really listening to the subtle flows of life. And in this way, we can be passionate and angry and advocate for something if that's what's present, but it's not the only response to a certain set of stimuli. Another response can be pause and silence and trusting without fear that moment that you take a breath and you feel the undulations of life come in and out, and you just observe and absorb the grander experience that is happening, and letting that be a response. And so I feel the more we allow ourselves to expand out of scripts of normalcy, the more different sort of responses come in from sets of stimuli, and it's just like expanding our vocabulary, expanding our consciousness. And it's yet not, I don't feel personally at this time to choose that as better than what it already is. It actually, I feel like there's a weaving, and then actually a third way can emerge. And I feel like when we just oppose what's there, we still are in a fight and a war paradigm with what is and then what we want to be, rather than letting them kind of gracefully come in. So as I'm talking about algorithms, belonging in my own in presence, like presence includes what's like scripts and normalcy and all of these things, but actually it liberates those things from the scripture. So at the end of all of this, if I was to promote something or to share something, my hope is that I would have engaged you enough in resonance that my natural excitement and love for what I do would feel resonant to you. And so even though in some ways I may have been used a formula of normalcy, which is like sharing content and then like asking for something, I don't know, marketing lingo, but you know, that whole thing that people do, my hope is that it's within the frameworks of presence enough that I'm in joy. And literally, if I'm in joy, it's all that matters. Like, I'm not following the formula, I'm being myself. If I'm being myself, maybe I'll do something that is done, or maybe I won't. And it's just sort of allowing the flow of that, because then that's true presence. And true presence is made up of everything. It's not just the light, it's also made up of the dark. It's not just the new, it's also made up of old. Like, we realize that new and old are definitions and connotations based on aspects that are only relative if we decide that they're actually always intrinsically arising. And we also really start thinking in Trinity consciousness, which is also something I always say I'm going to talk about it, and I haven't yet. So I'm actually going to do a video again on Trinity consciousness, which is what I'm actually speaking about right now. I feel true presence is a Trinity consciousness. And one way, I mean, I'm not going to go into it right now, but it will soon. So I just wanted to speak about this and speak about algorithms of belonging, and really move into belonging to deep presence and letting that mean anything we want it to mean in any moment that we want it to have a certain meaning. It does. And to really encourage a sense of fluidity and flow and trust. And as I say this, I'm rising this prayer for myself. Like, I want to have a deeper sense of flow and trust when it comes to the work I share with this world, and my financial income from it, and like the excitement I have for it, and what I love about it. Like, what I love about the work I do, really honing in on that feeling, which I really feel is like the word for this month, as I mentioned before, this honing in, is the feeling I have when I'm deep in the energy with someone and they're deep in it too, and we're in the same place. So we're in the soul realm together, and we might be seeing the same exact thing, we might be seeing something differently, and I guess it's more feeling, because I feel we're always, like when I take people there, we're always in the same place. We might be experiencing it differently, and I love that, because my experience usually is so energetic. And so when I get to meet people in those realms and in those depths, to me, I'm the most direct I ever am, because it just feels so true to me. And that's why I love what I do, and I love people to remember themselves as a soul and as energy and as more than the body within the body, like with the body. To not deny what is matter, but to also just include so much what is immaterial and what is of energy and porous and all of those things. And we know that all, like, energy makes up matter. It's literally one and the same. It's so exciting, and I love it. And I'm so glad I get to do this work as my service and offering to the world. And it really is like a gift to me. It's a gift to me. It's a gift of me. So, and I share this in this moment because that honing on the excitement and what from that place is, to me, the algorithm of belonging I want to promote, and the deep sense of presence that I want to be in. It's what is it that brings me to joy? Hone in on that, and then expand on that. You know, I really feel from there is like the subtle voices of life can arise in our unknowing and meet us and inspire us into the next movement. So I'm sharing all this just to really, like I said, rise my own prayer, share about my own process, and encourage you too. If you maybe want to do a YouTube channel, but you don't like how the YouTubers have been out there, you just feel X, Y, or Z, to like just encourage your own algorithm of belonging, to create it yourself, share it out into the world, into the ethernet, and trust that resonance is present, and that there are particles of light that are coming towards each other and like eagerly seeking like parts, and even the things that we don't perceive as like are actually light themselves, and are seeking and to move and form into these light formations that are made up of all the things, the dark, the light, and everything in between. So yes, this is my sharing. Thank you all so much for listening. If you've gotten this far, that's so cool. That's so cool. So this came into my mind. I'm curious if you have gotten this far, if you want to leave a little emoji in the bottom with like the tree, like a tree or like some plant thing. That would be cool. And see, that's just an example. That's something people do, but I've never done before, but I just felt inspired to do it just now. Because I would be so interested who listens to my videos. Anyway, I love you all so much. Thank you for being on this journey with me. And I'm grateful to be on this journey with you. And yeah, I'm really gonna come with a Trinity consciousness video. Like that's what's coming up next. And just like let me know how this resonates with you. And I'm gonna be sharing more about this because I'm like really, this is like what's up for me right now, to really claim and own my own algorithm of belonging and to share from there. And so I'm also gonna be doing a podcast on this probably, and writing a blog. So I haven't done those yet. When I do, I'll come back and put them in the description. Blessings. Have a beautiful day. I might include some clips of the ocean in this because I'm on the Oaxacan coast right now and it's gorgeous, and beauty loves to be shared, I'm pretty sure. So until soon.